Recently I've had a lot of patients asking me what kind of things do I buy when I go to the grocery store. So today we just got back from the grocery store, so I'm going to kind of go through each one and tell you what I bought and why I bought it. Now, another thing, there's a book, it's called How Not to Die. A lot of the things that I'm going to talk about when I do the food that I bought, I'm going to tell you why I bought it, but this book goes into great detail. So if you want to purchase this book, you can get it on Amazon. I didn't write the book. I don't make any money off the book, but it's a great book if you want to change your life and get off a lot of your medicines. So let's look at what we bought. So we got some mushrooms. I try to get organic, but even if you can't find the organic item, get what you can find. You're better off eating non-organic food than food out of a can. Even freezing it takes away some of the nutrients, so always try to get fresh even if you can't find the organic version. So mushrooms are really good for you. They're full of zinc and other nutrients, and they have a good umami taste, so they are really good at replacing meat. I personally don't eat any meat now. That's kind of a new change for us. We've been pescatarian for a long time. We still eat some fish, but we really try to minimalize any meat that we eat. Even the fish, the only fish we eat now is fish that we catch. So moving on, got some collard greens and two different kinds of broccoli. This is just regular broccoli, and then this is the broccolini. They're both really good. And then also some kale. The dinosaur kale is the best. One thing that all of these have in common, including the radishes, is that they're cruciferous vegetables. Also, we have the cauliflower. What cruciferous vegetables have that's so important is sulforaphane, and it is a very strong antioxidant, which will take care of cancer cells. It helps with blood pressure. It basically helps with any possible illness you could have. Heart disease, helps reverse heart disease. So read about the benefits. One way you can find some things online without remembering all these words is just look up benefits of broccoli. A good website is nutritionfacts.org. They don't sell anything. It's a nonprofit, but very good evidence-based information about your foods. We got some leeks. They're a lot milder than onions. I like onions too, but the onions today didn't look too great. And so I chose these leeks. You just take away the big leaves and cut off the bottoms, and you can slice them, and they really do add a lot of flavor to your dishes that you're making. Lettuce. A lot of people buy iceberg lettuce, and it won't hurt you. There's nothing in it that's bad. But the problem is there's nothing in it that's good either. So romaine lettuce, red leaf lettuce, the more colorful and deeply colored the lettuces are, the better they are for you. One thing, I got some arugula. Arugula is very good for you. Spinach is good for you in small quantities. You have to be very careful if you're prone to kidney disease or kidney stones. You want to watch out for oxalates. And the three things you have to worry about with kidney stones and avoiding oxalate is spinach, Swiss chard, and what was the other one? I can't remember. There was a third one. I'll think of it later. I can't remember what the third one was right now. Beet tops. So we got some oranges. They're really good for you, the little mandarins. Aldi sometimes has some good little specials on these organic oranges and things, so we always pop in there first to see what they have. We got some kiwis. Kiwi is very important if you have trouble sleeping. Eating a kiwi 2 hours before bedtime can actually help you to sleep very soundly. So try it. Just, anything I'm telling you, if you don't believe it, put it to the test. Just try it and see. But a kiwi 2 hours before bed will help you sleep. Brussels sprouts also fit into this category with the sulforaphane. One thing to mention on the broccoli and the cauliflower and any of these ones that I mentioned that are cruciferous vegetables, you either want to eat it raw. Raw gets boring after a while. If you like it steamed or cooked, however you want to cook it, there's a chop and hold method so it doesn't lose that sulforaphane that I talked about. So what you would do is, ahead of time at the beginning of your meal prep, cut up the broccoli, cut up the kale, cut up the cauliflower, cut up whatever your cruciferous vegetable is, and it needs to sit there at a minimum of 40 to 45 minutes. If you just don't have time for that, there is a way to add the chemical reaction that takes place back in, which brings us to the next item, ground mustard. You can get mustard powder, however you want to get your mustard. I think just the fine mustard powder works the best. But if you don't have time to do the chop and hold method, you can cook it however you want, and then you just simply sprinkle the mustard on it after you cook it, and it gives you that full sulforaphane benefit back. Let's see what else we have. We have some apples. The old adage, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, is very true. Apples are full of pectin and nutrients. If you suffer from reflux or different kind of digestive problems, eating an apple a day will help tie up some of that acid and give you some relief. It also helps keep your bowel movements regular, which one point I want to mention, all of this food that we're talking about, if you're one of these people that poops once a week or once every 3 days, when you change your diet and get rid of all that red meat, pork, even chicken, and start eating these types of vegetables, you are going to poop like a champ every day, usually 3 times a day or more. And I don't mean diarrhea, I mean like great big wonderful healthy poop, because that's the only way you're going to get healthy. So let's see, we have plums. Really, you can't go wrong with any fruits. Regardless of what the people that promote keto tell you, fruits are not the enemy. They're not pure sugar. Yes, they have fructose, but in their whole fruit form, they have fiber and all the other nutrients the way God intended them to be eaten. And so fruits will not hurt you, I promise. They will not worsen your diabetes. In fact, they actually stabilize your glycemic index. So don't worry about eating fruit. You can't go wrong. We also have some turmeric root. You can buy turmeric powder. Turmeric is a wonderful, wonderful addition to whatever you're eating or drinking. You can juice it, you can dice it up, you can make tea, you can do whatever. You can find turmeric recipes online, all sorts of sites on that. We also have, I'm going to start with my beans. Legumes are probably the most important thing that you want to make sure that you eat besides the cruciferous vegetables and the greens that we mentioned. At the top of the list, French green lentils. Now, if you've ever bought the yellow or the red lentils, they're okay, they're good for you too, but they're a little mushy, and I personally just don't really care for them. But the French green lentils actually hold their shape very well, so you can eat them hot, you can eat them cold. You know, we throw them on top of everything. If we make a sweet potato, we'll add some just to add in some protein. You can put them in salads. These things are very, very handy to have on hand. Black beans. These are actually black turtle beans, but any of the beans in the black bean family are very, very good for you. They have more nutrients than any of the other beans, and so you can use them in Mexican dishes. You can use them, you know, just to throw in your salad. There's all sorts of things you can do with those. Even just rice and beans are good, which leads me to what kind of rice should you use? White rice will not kill you, obviously, and I do like to have white rice on occasion. But the best kind of rice you can get is actually the brown rice. And wild rice is good too. Any of the different versions of the brown rice are good, but try to make sure that it's still intact. It hasn't, you know, had anything removed from it. Anything that says enriched, that's a bad sign, because the only reason they enrich things is because they've stripped all the nutrients out of it, so they've had to spray some chemical nutrients back on it. So stay away from anything that says enriched.